You did everything right. You got the job, you pay your bills on time, you're not out here blowing money on nonsense. And yet, every month end, you're staring at your bank account like it personally offended you. No crazy spending, no big trips, just gone. Look, here's the thing nobody actually tells you. Doing everything right with money doesn't mean you're doing the right things. And that gap between being responsible and actually building real wealth, that's what this video is about. And honestly, these 7 rules changed everything for me. My name is Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about money. Not in a weird way, in a why didn't anyone teach us this kind of way? If you work hard but still feel stuck financially, hit subscribe. This channel is literally built for you. Okay, let me paint a picture. You're in your late 20s, maybe early 30s. You've got a decent income, not crazy money, but enough. You're not broke, you're just not ahead either. Every January 1st, you tell yourself, this is the year. This is the year I get serious. You download a budgeting app, open a savings account, maybe you watch a few finance videos. And then February happens. Life happens. Unexpected car repair, a birthday dinner you couldn't skip, a slow month at work. Just like that, the plan falls apart again. And here's what makes it worse. You're Googling money stuff at midnight, second-guessing every financial decision you make, wondering if you're already too far behind. Then you look around. People your age are buying houses, taking real vacations, casually talking about their investment portfolios like it's nothing. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I actually missing? Because you're not lazy. That's the part that gets to you. You show up, you work hard, you're responsible. But the math just doesn't add up in your favor. And nobody around you is being honest about it. Your parents give you advice from a completely different economy. Your friends are either broke too or pretending they're not. And social media? Don't even get me started. Everyone's showing the highlight reel, none of the struggle. So you're left figuring it out alone. Look, I've been there. A lot of people watching this right now have been there. And here's the truth. You're not behind because you're bad with money. You're behind because nobody gave you the actual rules. Not the surface level stuff. The real rules. The ones that actually shift your financial life when you finally understand them. Today, we're going through 7 of them. Let's get into it. Okay, before we get into the rules, I need to break something first. Most people believe that building wealth is about making more money. Like, if I just got a raise, everything would be fine. If I just landed that promotion, I'd finally get ahead. And look, more income helps, I won't pretend it doesn't. But here's what most people don't realize. Your income going up doesn't automatically mean your wealth goes up. There's actually a name for this: lifestyle inflation. Every time your income grows, your spending quietly grows with it. New car, nicer apartment, better restaurants, and suddenly you're making 30% more than 3 years ago and saving the exact same amount, which is nothing. Here's the real shift. Wealth isn't about how much you make, it's about the gap between what comes in and what you actually keep. That gap is where real wealth lives. Think about it this way. Someone making $50,000 a year, saving 15%, will outbuild someone making $90,000, saving 2%. Every single time. The math doesn't care about your salary, it cares about your behavior. And here's the thing about behavior. It's something you can actually control, starting today. So before we talk rules, accept this one thing. For most people, this isn't an income problem, it's a behavior problem. Say it once, own it, and let's move. All right, rule number 1. Pay yourself first. Now, before you roll your eyes, I know you've heard this before, but stay with me, because most people hear it and completely miss what it actually means. Paying yourself first doesn't mean save whatever's left at the end of the month, because here's the honest truth, there's never anything left at the end of the month. Money has this magical ability to disappear into 1,000 small decisions before you even notice. What it actually means is this. The moment your paycheck hits, a percentage moves straight to savings or investments. before rent, before groceries, before anything else. You make that move first. Then you live on what's left. Most people do the exact opposite. They pay everything else first, then hope something's left for savings. That's exactly why most people have almost nothing saved. Simple starting point, 10%. If you bring home $3,000 a month, that's $300 moving automatically on payday. Not when you remember, not when it feels comfortable, automatically. Now, some of you are thinking, Ricky, I don't have an extra $300. I hear that, I really do. But here's the key thing. Automation removes the decision, and removing the decision removes the temptation. When you manually transfer money, your brain finds 100 reasons why this month isn't the right month. But when it moves automatically, you adjust, you adapt, you figure it out. That's the psychology behind Rule 1. It works because it takes you out of the equation. And honestly, that's a good thing. Rule number 2. Build your emergency fund before you do almost anything else. 3 to 6 months of expenses, liquid, accessible, sitting in a high-yield savings account. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ricky, that sounds boring. And yeah, it kind of is. But here's the thing. Without an emergency fund, every single unexpected expense becomes debt. Car breaks down, credit card, medical bill, payment plan. Slow month at work, you're dipping into whatever little you saved. And you're rebuilding from zero every few months. The emergency fund breaks that cycle. It's the foundation that makes everything else actually work. And here's something most people miss. Your emergency fund should actually be earning money. Right now, high-yield savings accounts are offering 4 to 5% interest. On $10,000, that's $400 to $500 a year doing absolutely nothing. Just sitting there. Compare that to a regular bank account paying you $11 a year. $11. That's not a small difference. That's almost insulting. So step 1, automate your savings. Step 2, put that savings somewhere it actually grows. Not fancy, not complicated, just smarter than what most people are doing. And look, I know some of you feel like you can't even start an emergency fund right now. Start with 1 month, then 2, then build from there. It doesn't have to be perfect on day 1, it just has to start. Because here's the reality. The emergency fund isn't exciting, but it's the thing that keeps one bad week from destroying months of progress. That matters more than people realize. Okay, rule number 3, and this one should genuinely shock you a little. The average credit card interest rate right now is around 22%. 22. If you carry $5,000 in credit card debt and you're only making minimum payments, you could end up paying back nearly double that amount over years. And not in a good way. Now think about this in reverse. We talk about the stock market averaging around 10% returns per year. Your credit card is charging you 22. So every dollar you throw into investments while carrying high-interest debt, you're earning 10 while losing 22. That's a losing trade every single time. Here's the thing most people don't realize. High-interest debt isn't just a math problem. It's a weight. It affects how you sleep at night, how you feel about your job, how free you feel to take risks or make changes in your life. Financial stress clouds every other decision you make, every single one. So here's Rule 3 clearly stated. Destroy high-interest debt before you aggressively invest. The guaranteed return of paying off 22% debt is better than the uncertain return of the stock market. Every time. Now, meet 2 people real quick. Daniel carries $4,000 in credit card debt. He starts investing $200 a month into index funds. Feels productive, right? His friend Amara takes that same $200 and attacks her credit card debt first. 18 months later, Amara is completely debt-free and now invests with 0 financial weight on her shoulders. Daniel still has debt, and his investment gains are being quietly eaten by interest. Who made the smarter move? Amara. Every time. Look, no amount of investing tips will help if you're standing in a burning house. Put the fire out first, then build. That shift in priority alone changes the entire financial game. Okay, I want to stop here for a second because there's something most people completely ignore, and it quietly destroys more financial progress than almost anything else: lifestyle inflation. We mentioned it earlier, but now let's really talk about it. Here's the thing: every time your income goes up, you have a choice. Most people don't even realize they're making one. They just upgrade. New car because the raise feels good. Nicer apartment because I deserve it. Better restaurants because why not? And I'm not saying you can't enjoy your money, not at all. But here's what most people don't realize: the upgrade feels amazing for about 3 weeks. Then it just becomes your new normal. And now you need more income to feel okay again. That's the trap. There's actually research on this. It's called the hedonic treadmill. Basically, humans adapt to improvements really fast. The new thing stops feeling new fast. So you keep needing more to feel the same level of satisfaction. It's exhausting, honestly. Here's rule 4 clearly: every raise is a decision, not an automatic lifestyle upgrade. Before you lifestyle inflate, ask yourself one question: will this expense still feel worth it in 12 months? Not 3 weeks, 12 months. If the answer is genuinely yes, maybe it's worth it. But if you're honest with yourself, a lot of lifestyle upgrades fail that test completely. Here's a real example. Marcus gets a $300 a month raise. He upgrades his apartment by $250 a month. He feels great for a month. Then he's back to the same financial stress, just with nicer walls. Meanwhile, his coworker Sophia takes that same raise and automates it straight into investments. 3 years later, Sophia has over $10,000 compounding in the background of her life. Marcus has nicer walls. Same raise, completely different outcome. The decision was the difference. All right, 3 more rules. Stay with me. These are the mindset ones, and honestly, these might be the most important. Rule number 5: stop optimizing for looking wealthy. Start optimizing for being wealthy. These are 2 completely different targets, and most people are chasing the wrong one their whole life. Looking wealthy is the new car when the old one still runs fine. It's buying designer things to signal success to people who honestly aren't thinking about you as much as you think they are. Being wealthy is having options. Waking up knowing that if something goes wrong, you have a cushion. Having money working in the background of your life while you actually live it. That's the real goal. Rule number 6: your habits compound just like money does. Good habits build forward. Bad habits do too. Every month you delay dealing with your finances is another month of compounding working against you, not for you. And here's the thing about habits: you don't need massive discipline. You need small decisions made consistently. That's it. Automate one thing this week, just one. That's a habit starting, and habits change lives quietly over time. Rule number 7: start now. Not when it's comfortable, not when you're ready, not next month. Now. Because here's the thing about time: you can always make more money, you can always find a better strategy, but you cannot buy back time in the market. That's the one resource that is genuinely gone once it passes. Daniel and Priya from earlier, the only difference between them was 10 years. Same investment, same amount. $420,000 difference. That was the cost of waiting, not the cost of being wrong, just waiting. So whatever rule hit you hardest today, apply it this week. Not perfectly, just start, because starting is the only move that actually matters. All right, let's bring it home. 7 rules, none of them complicated. That's kind of the whole point. Rule 1: pay yourself first. Automate it. Remove willpower from the equation. Rule 2: build your emergency fund. 3 to 6 months, high yield account. Do it before anything else. Rule 3: destroy high interest debt before you aggressively invest. The math demands it. Rule 4: every raise is a decision, not an automatic lifestyle upgrade. Rule 5: stop chasing looking wealthy. chase being wealthy instead. Rule 6, your habits compound. Small, consistent decisions build real outcomes over time. Rule number 7, start now. Not next month, not when it feels right. Now. Look, none of this requires a finance degree. It doesn't require a huge income. It just requires a real decision, not a "I'll start soon." Today. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is mostly made up of these small decisions done consistently over time. That's it. No secret, no shortcut, just this. Real talk for a second. I didn't make this video to overwhelm you. I made it because I genuinely wish someone had sat me down and explained this stuff clearly when I was earlier in my financial journey. Nobody hands you this. Nobody pulls you aside and says, "Hey, here's how money actually works. Here's what to do first, second, third." You have to go looking for it yourself. And the fact that you're here, watching this all the way to the end, that already puts you ahead of most people. Seriously. So here's what I want you to do. Don't try to apply all 7 rules at once. Pick one. Just one. The one that felt most urgent for where you are right now. Write it down, make a small plan around it, give it 30 days. Because real financial change doesn't happen from one moment of inspiration. It happens from one small decision made consistently over time. If this video helped you see something differently or made one thing click that didn't before, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? New videos every week. Real numbers, real talk, no fluff. I'm Ricky. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourself and take care of your money. They're more connected than you think.